Hello and welcome back to 32 Team 2012 franchise mode. We have just wrapped up week 5. Pretty interesting games, pretty interesting stats, and we'll get into it. Pretty interesting things happen, so we'll get into it here. And it starts out on Thursday night where the Rams hold on and beat the Cardinals 22-19. John Skelton did get the start. Again, this week after the trade for Brian Hoyer, we will see who starts in week 6. Sam Bradford did his thing, did throw an interception, but the Cardinals aren't good at all. The Rams are your, 7-9, 8-8 team, 6 to 8 wins. They're not gonna make a playoffs. They might upset some teams, but they're really not that good. Steven Jackson had a good game. The Cardinals still consistently have the worst rushing offense in the NFL, and it's not even close. Fitz is doing everything he can, but with poor quarterback play and not being able to run the ball, poor coaching, it's just this team is rough. Calais Campbell, Chris Long, Sam Acko, Robert Quinn, big names are getting sacks. Tremaine Johnson, the rookie, got an interception, and Kerry Rhodes had an interception. Um, one really bad team, one just mediocre team, in a pretty boring Thursday night matchup, but the Rams do prevail. To start off the Sunday games, the Philadelphia Eagles fall. The undefeated Eagles, or no longer undefeated Eagles, as they lose 23 to 20 to the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's coming off their bye week, um, and they're able to upset Philly at home. Um, they get the win coming off the bye. It's a really big win. They were 1-2. Now they're 2-2. Falling a 1-3 to 2-2, that's big. That can really hurt you momentum-wise, but winning against an undefeated Eagles team is amazing. Mike Vick played all right. Big Ben played pretty well. They were able to run the ball. Rashawn Mendenhall, 120 yards. Sean McCoy had a touchdown. AB had a good game. D-Jax, Brent Selleck, Heath Miller. Heath Miller is so slow, uh, but he did get a touchdown, but he is really slow. Mike Wallace also caught a touchdown. Defensively, Ike Taylor, a pretty good game. James Harrison had a sack and 2 tackles for loss. Cam Hayward, second year, had a sack. Troy Polamalu had an interception. So did Brandon Boykin. So good game, big win for the Steelers to move to 2-2 off their bye. That's huge. Then we go down to New York, or New Jersey, I guess technically, where the Cleveland Browns 0-4 by far was the worst team in the NFL. Gets it done. Pat Shurmur put on a show with his Browns. Brandon Weeden played an amazing game. 71% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, almost 300 yards. Eli Manning had 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. Didn't go his way today. A really good game from Brandon Weeden, which you would expect from a 28-year-old rookie taken in the first round. Uh, Trent Richardson, all right, 3 yards carry isn't good. Ahmad Bradshaw good. Really, I mean, this is a must-need win for Pat Shurmur if he wants to save his job. I mean, they're 1-4. They're not competing. This is a good game from his rookies. Josh Gordon had a really good game. Trent Richardson played all right, like we saw. Um, Victor Cruz got in the end zone, but this is a this was pretty much a must-win game. So Travis Benjamin also a good game. So I mean, the rookies played well. That's what they need from the Browns. If they GM and head coach they want to keep a job, these rookies need to play well, especially after taking a 28-year-old rookie in the first round quarterback. Um, but did they both go for touchdowns? I don't remember. No, it was just one defensive touchdown. It was T.J. Ward. So I mean that's a big win. 27-17. Cleveland gets their first win of the year. So the only winless team, the 49ers and the Cardinals, after that week 5 matchup. Then you have Baltimore, Kansas City. I think this is Kansas City's. Never mind. Oh, this game went to overtime. Did not. Another game went to overtime. But Kansas City was 3-1. They're now 3-2. Matt Castle threw 2 interceptions. He just isn't very good. Joe Flacco, not a great game. Ray Rice, all right game. Peyton Hillis had a good game. Matt Castle did rush for a touchdown. It's a weird game. Uh, Defensive battle, sluggish, not much. Two good coaches, Romeo Crennel, great defensive mind against a really good John Harbaugh coach. Raylor's going to search Jimmy Smith as well. It's a boring game. It was, 17-14. Nothing too special. Then we go to Indianapolis. Head coach Chuck Pagano has been diagnosed with leukemia. Is done pretty much the rest of the regular season. He would probably, to return, they'd have to make the playoffs. And if this continues, they're probably going to be in the playoffs. Green Bay, really good team. Really good. And Indy killed them. I mean, Bruce Arians, interim head coach, put a hell of a game plan to beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, who were 15-1 last year, now fall to 3-2. Still good, obviously still early, but that's a really good win for Indianapolis. Andrew Luck, have yourself a game. 4 touchdowns, 326 yards. This guy is living up to everything he was supposed to be. He is amazing. He is an MVP frontrunner as a rookie. That's insane. Aaron Rodgers, 255, 2 touchdowns. Did have an interception, but I mean, couldn't outplay Andrew Luck today. And they ran the ball well too. The Colts put on a hell of a game plan. Kobe Fleener, rookie, had an amazing game. Reggie Rain, veteran, had an amazing game. Randall Cobb did have a good game as well. Both these teams are very good. It really all came in the second half for Indy. Really, 16 points. It was 17-14 at half, and had 16 unanswered in the second half. Actually, they had 30 unanswered. It was really 14-3. Um, they just kept scoring and scoring, and they kept stopping them. Great game. They're doing it for Chuck Pagano. I mean, that's amazing. Interim head coach Bruce Arians, hell of a game plan. And they moved to 3-1 off the bye week. Then you have Miami Cincy, another really boring football game. This is 15-3. Interesting score. 3 field goals, a touchdown, and a failed 2-point conversion gets you that score, and then a field goal for Miami. Both quarterbacks didn't play all that great. Andy Dalton did play better. Not not elite. He played all right. Ryan Tannehill, rookie, not great. Um, as you can see, I think he only has 2 passing touchdowns on the year, which for a rookie is expected. Expected to do great. Run game was there today for Cincy. It's what they need to start doing. Not so much for Miami when Reggie Bush and Lamar Miller are both hurt. That's going to happen. Um, they're both out for extended amount of time. AJ Green, another good game. That AJ Green, or Dalton to Green combos turned out to be an elite one, wide receiver wise. Mohamed Sanu, rookie sensation, having a good year. Not had a great, I wouldn't say rookie sensation. He's having a good rookie year, but not not a good game today. Only 2 catches. Geno Atkins had 2 sacks, a lot of sacks. Even got a corner sack there, half a sack. No interceptions, turnover-free game from the quarterbacks. Good win for Cincy. They needed that win. They were 1-3. So now they moved to 2-3. Big win. Staying alive. Still early, but those wins help a lot in the long run. Then you have Atlanta and Washington. Atlanta gets the W 24-21. Mike Shanahan and this team is 1-4. Robert Griffin III, 2 interceptions. The first play of the game was a 75-yard touchdown to Anquan Bolden. To Pierre Garcon. They're, in my eyes, they're the same player. But Matt Ryan is probably the MVP as of right now. Amazing season. 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions so far. RG3 is the leading rusher for Washington so far this year. That isn't good. That isn't good. You want a better run game. Mike Shanahan needs to get this team together. Um, Pierre Garcon, 2 touchdowns, first play of the game, 75-yard bomb. But it didn't phase Matt Ryan. Roddy White caught touchdown. Julio caught touchdown. Harry Douglas. I mean, that's an amazing receiver core. Harry Douglas, Julio Jones, and Roddy White. And you got Tony Gonzalez, who is older, but I mean, these wide receivers are really good. And that's a big part of why Atlanta's playing some really good football. Ray Edwards had 3 sacks. Sean Witherspoon had 2, 5, 6, 7 sacks from Atlanta's defense. That's not good. For Washington, not a good look. Brent Grimes, Lofa Tatupa got interceptions. Charles Mitchell, leading tackler. Uh, Matt Bryant missed a field goal, and Graham Gano missed two field goals. So the difference in that game was the three missed field goals. They make those kicks, it's a tie game, 27-27. And the last undefeated team falls. Carolina, Seattle. This could be a rivalry that we see for a long time. These two teams are electric. They're fun. They've got fun quarterbacks, fun coaches, fun defenses. This is a really fun matchup that I hope we see in the future. 42-35. Cam Newton gets it done. 3 touchdowns through the air. Russell Wilson had a good game. 173 and 3 touchdowns through the air. Russell Wilson 278, 2 touchdowns. Both these teams are really good offensively. Well, Carolina's really good offensively. Their defense needs help. Seattle was really good defensively coming into this game. They were 4-0. Now they're 4-1, of course. Uh, um, Marshawn Lynch continues to be everything ever. I mean, the dude's amazing. Beast mode. Cam Newton, 2 rushing touchdowns, 5 total. This is a matchup that I hope to see for the future. Marshawn Lynch, great game through the air. Steve Smith, Brandon LaFell, and Greg Olsen caught touchdowns. Defensively, Bobby Wagner was all over the place. 10 tackles, a sack. Luke Kuechly, also rookie, 8, a tackle for loss, and a sack. Um, Cam Chancellor and Darius Butler. This Seattle team is good. They're young. They're 4-1. They did fall to Carolina. That's Pete Carroll's gonna get this team under control. It's a really good football team and a really good fun game. Should have been a primetime game because that game is fun. And if these two teams get in the playoffs and meet again, that's gonna be fun. Chicago, Jacksonville. Lovie Smith. He has his team at 4-1. Jay Cutler's playing good football. The defense is amazing. Holds Blaine Gabbert to a 44.4 passer rating, 205 and 2 interceptions. Jay Cutler turnover-free games. What do you need to do from him? Maurice Jones-Drew did have a good game, but it can only get you so far when you can't throw. Matt Forte obviously continues to be amazing. Caught a touchdown as well. Devin Hester caught a touchdown. He's been used a little bit more as a wide receiver this year. Um, Obviously, still returning kicks, but that's been used a lot more as a wide receiver. Alshon Jeffrey, good game. Um, but yeah, that one catch. So obviously one catch, but he is getting a lot more snaps at wide receiver. Taylor Cox, Peanut Tillman with the tackles. Daryl Smith tackles for loss. Lance Briggs 2 sacks. Julius Peppers 1 and Henry Melton 1. So Jacksonville, after winning last week, falls this week, and Chicago just keeps on winning. They keep on winning. Same with the Vikings. They just keep on winning. Christian Ponder, a really good game, but in the 31-28 win, he did throw an interception. His first of the year. It was, you know, it really sucks. His first interception of the season. Hopefully his last. He's playing really good football. Turnover-free football. Jake Locker, all right. Obviously, two guys taken last year in the 2011 first round. Part of playing Gabbert, Cam Newton with the quarterbacks there. Right now, it's probably Cam Newton as one. It's a big gap. And then it's probably Andy Dalton and then Ponder, which is not as big as a gap as you would think. And then it's probably Gabbert and then Locker. Locker just isn't very good. Uh, they are winning though. They are 3-2, and Chris Johnson is the main reason why. 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. Adrian Peterson 115 and a touchdown. Um, Nate Washington, good game receiving. Percy Harvin, good game. And yeah, Adrian Peterson did catch a touchdown too. So Christian Ponder continues to look like a franchise quarterback. Did have his first interception of the year today, but it's still a good game. He has 12 touchdowns, only 1 interception. It's amazing. So Minnesota, Leslie Frazier, they just keep winning. And then here it is, San Fran, Buffalo. San Fran finally got it together, right? Alex Smith finally got it together. 566 yards of offense, 153 rushing, 413 passing. Alex Smith obviously got it together. Finally played good football. No, Alex Smith has been benched after throwing 3 passes, completing one of them that was a loss. I lost a yard. First pass was an incompletion. Second pass, was a -1 yard reception. His third pass was a pick six. A pick six. And Harbaugh had enough. Jim Harbaugh pulled him and put Colin Kaepernick in. And I think this is the end of the Alex Smith era in San Francisco. Colin Kaepernick, 431 yards, 5 touchdowns. Did throw an interception, but 5 touchdowns, 431 yards. I mean, completed 66% of his passes. Wow. 131.9 QB rating, passer rating. Alex Smith probably is done with the 49ers. Maybe we'll see him get traded, but he doesn't have much trade value right now, just with how poor his play has been this year. Um, Ryan Fitzpatrick, good game, you know, but team got blown out. Frank Gore, 125 and a touchdown. Randy Moss, the ageless wonder, 2 catches, 132 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Colin Kaepernick came into this game, and Colin Kaepernick is a former baseball player. Got drafted in MLB. He adds an element to this offense. He has that deep ball, that thing that Alex Smith didn't have. 3 wide receivers go over 100 yards. 2 of them have 2 touchdowns. This is not something we saw with Alex Smith. The offense wasn't this open, and he adds another element with his legs. Alex Smith is done in San Francisco playing career-wise. He'll never start a game, most likely. This was an amazing debut for Colin Kaepernick. Team played well. Alden Smith 3.5. Justin Smith 1.5 sacks. Patrick Willis 3 tackles for loss. And then the 2 picks for Jairus Byrd and Leonis McClevin, who had the pick six. It's probably the end for Alex Smith with in at the Bay Area. Um, 42-14, led by Colin Kaepernick. It's 5 touchdowns through the air. He adds an element to this offense: the deep ball, the big plays, his legs that they didn't have with Alex Smith. Um, we don't know who's going to start next week, but I think we can all make an assumption and say it's going to be Colin Kaepernick after a performance like he just put on. And San Fran gets a must-needed win. They moved to 1-4 on the year. They finally seem to get things together now with Kaepernick. Um, I'd imagine he's going to start next week, but we'll find out. Big game, Denver, New England. New England able to win. Now this, I said this in the quarter league report. This could determine a lot. Two really good football teams, two slow starting football teams. Obviously, New England always starts slower than they should. Denver, Peyton Manning, John Fox. They're gonna start slow. They're gonna go through some bumps. So they're sitting at 2-3. Don't let that distract you. This is a good football team. They're gonna be playing football well into January, maybe even into February. Same with New England, but this game could dictate home field advantage later in the year. Um, 24-21 at home, New England. Both quarterbacks played amazing. 350, 3 touchdowns, and a pick for Brady. 233, 3 touchdowns and a pick for Peyton Manning. Shane Vereen had a good day rushing. Willis McGahee and Knowshon Moreno not as good as usual. Another thing New England needs to get is that rushing game. If this continues, they're going to be good. Rob Gronkowski might be the best tight end in football right now. 9 catches, 161 yards, and a touchdown. He's unstoppable. He's uncoverable. You have to put a corner on him. You can't match him up with linebackers. That's what Denver kept doing, and they kept getting killed. They kept getting killed. Brandon Lloyd had a good game. Eric Decker back from injury, catches 2 touchdowns. Knowshon Moreno caught a touchdown. Wes Welker was kind of quiet. Aaron Hernandez was kind of quiet. Jabbar Gaffney did catch a touchdown. Danny Woodhead did have a good game receiving, like always. The interceptions were DJ Williams and Dante Hightower, 2 linebackers. Von Miller terrorized Tom Brady. He was always getting pressure. Only 1.5 sacks to show, but he was always in Tom Brady's face. Luckily, he could just throw it up to Gronk, and Gronk would come down with it. Jared Mayo had a sack. Devin McCourty, Kyle Arrington, these guys were tackle leaders. This is a good game. That was a fun game. Two teams that will probably see each other again come January, come February. Um, and then we move to the primetime matchup Sunday night. Chargers Saints overtime victory for the Saints. Chargers just fall just short again. Philip Rivers is playing really good football. He throws the ball more than anybody else, though. They throw the ball only 25 this time, but they throw the ball more than anyone else. Drew Brees, 2 interceptions uncharacteristic, but had 3 touchdowns and 419 yards. And a lot of injuries. Darren Sproles went down with an injury. So it's going to be Pierre Thomas and former first round pick Mark Ingram. Ryan Matthews, all right game for the Saints for the rest of the year. Also, you had Jimmy Graham go down with an injury. You had two offensive linemen go down with an injury. It was a bad day for the Saints injury wise, but they did end up winning. Um, you see, these are the touchdown scores. Jimmy Graham did catch one before his injury, and he's done for the year. I don't remember what it was, but we'll show that in this injury report. He's done for the year. Curtis Lofton, 16 tackles. A lot of sacks to go around. Eric Weddle got a sack and had that interception. And we had one more interception, which was Marquise Gilchrist. So good game for the Saints, good win. Chargers fall to 1-4. They just keep falling just short of winning. A lot of injuries for the Saints could impact them uh, with the stretch, and they do have a bye this week, so we'll see what happens. Texans Jets, two teams that well, the Texans are disappointing a little bit. Maybe they'll get things together here. The Jets are just not really good. They do have 2 wins, but they're not that great. Mark Sanchez, touchdown 2 of 3. Matt Schaub, a pick, another interception, 243 though. Sean Green had a good game rushing. Chaz Schillis led leading receiver. Philip Supernaw, another touchdown for the rookie. Andre Johnson had a touchdown. Good game. Boring game, really. The Jets weren't in there for a while, but J.J. Watt 3 sacks. Brady James 2 sacks. That's seven, 9, 8 sacks. Muhammad Wilkes, David Harris both got one for and Damon Harrison got one for the Jets. They did miss a field goal, so the game could have been a little bit worse on paper. But 23-13. Yeah, it was close there. Actually, the Jets did lead at half. Wow, I didn't realize that. But they kind of fell apart. Yeah, Mark Sanchez didn't play great. So that is the Week 5 scores. Um, we can take a look at the league injury report. We'll just do that in this video here. Bears, Bengals, Bills, Broncos, Browns healthy. Tampa Bay has Vincent Jackson out for 4 weeks. Cardinals are banged up. None of these guys are on IR. They hope to get them all back at some point this year. Chargers have 2 wide receivers hurt. Both will be returning around the same time. Chiefs have Jamal Charles, who they are missing pretty bad right now, and a backup linebacker, special teams player, Corey Redding and T.Y. Hilton, both out for the Colts. Hope they are really they're gonna be happy when they get T.Y. Hilton back, another rookie. You got Kobe Fleener, you got Andrew Luck, you got T.Y. Hilton. That's a really good trio of rookies. Dolphins have both their running backs hurt and a wide receiver. Part of the reason why Ryan Tannehill isn't playing great. Evan Mathis is hurt for the Eagles. Marty B is out with a dislocated hip for the Giants. Antoine Odom is out for 6 weeks with a broken hand for Jacksonville. Bart Scott is out for 11 weeks with a torn bicep. They're not placing him on IR. They hope to get him back late in the year. Maybe they're still contending. It depends. We'll see what happens and how he rehabs for those 11 weeks, what he does, how he heals if they place him on IR. Charles Woodson is hurt. He'll be back in 2 weeks with dislocated elbow. Panthers, Patriots healthy. Raiders, McFadden and Mike Mitchell, they both are hoping to get back, and Richard Gordon is out for the year with an Achilles tear. Danny Amendola will be next week for the Rams. Ravens, Commanders are both healthy. And then the Saints, compound foot fracture for Jimmy Graham. He's out for the year. Jamon Bushrod with a partial PCL tear, and Zach Street with a broken thumb, both out for about a month. For Darren Sproles has a shoulder tears out for a month, and then Devery Henderson's out for 2 weeks with a shoulder tear. So a lot of injuries, a lot of key players. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 starters and a pretty good wide receiver who stretches the field are all out. Seattle, Alex Barron has a broken hand, is out for 6 weeks. Steelers are healthy. Texans Owen Daniels, tight end, will be back next week. Titans are healthy, and Vikings have Michael Jenkins, wide receiver, out for 2 more weeks. Um, so those are the scores, those stats. There's no undefeated team in the NFL. Every team has at least one loss, and then there's only one winless team, the Cardinals. So we'll see how long that lasts. Got some 1-4 teams. San Fran might be getting it together. I could see Washington getting it together. Browns did just get their first win. They still have almost a negative 100-point differential though. Chargers are so close every week. Don't count them out. Jacksonville, eh. Dallas, eh. They had their bye. Um, a lot of 3-2 teams. Atlanta on a 2-game win streak with their MVP quarterback. And they got the 4-1 teams actually. I mean, the NFC North. You take a look, really competitive, really competitive. But we'll get on to that in about 3 weeks here. Week 8, week 9, mid season. Um, take a look at the schedule actually here. Steelers Dolphins to start, or sorry, Steelers Titans to start the week on Thursday night. Rams Dolphins, Chiefs Bucks, Raiders Falcons, Colts Jets, Cowboys Ravens, Bengals Browns, Lions Eagles on 1 p.m. Good game. Patriots Seahawks at 4. Bills Cardinals, Giants 49ers, Vikings Commanders, all the rest at 4. Packers Texans on Sunday night, and then Broncos Chargers on Monday night. Actually some pretty good primetime games. Um, to end the week. Thursday night game will probably be a Steelers win. So that is the Week 5 report, and I will see you after Week 6 and Week 7.